G'day, how's it going? This is Comics with your mate Failbait. Today, spotlighting a writer who I think is one of the most underrated writers going around at the moment, definitely. So there are some writers whose arrival is going to bring a lot of fanfare or an immediate response, sometimes good and sometimes bad. This one, though, I feel has flown under the radar, and it's Charles Soule. And I really hope that changes with his leadership on Star Wars High Republic Comics, as he's very well deserving of the accolades. Comixology is actually having a sale on his Marvel comics right now, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to spotlight Charles Soule's top 3 Marvel comics. For me, they are Darth Vader, She-Hulk, and Daredevil Back in Black. Starting with Darth Vader, it takes place almost immediately after the events of Revenge of the Sith, bringing together the expected emotional weight of someone who just lost his entire family, as well as the immediate tension between Darth Vader and his new master, Sidious. Even though we know where the story goes, it still feels like there's real stakes involved by how menacing everything is. These are meant to be the baddest Siths in the galaxy, and Soule demonstrates that right away. More than that, though, is the real pathos to Vader beneath the helmet. This is because Soule's storytelling follows a highly dramatic cinematic style that is highlighted and expressed through the composition, panels, and even silence. While empty panels in a comic may be frustrating for some, here it expertly serves the dramatic narrative and the changes that Anakin has undergone to become Vader. It's all perfectly assisted by the art team. While some of their aliens look a little more odd than menacing, the landscapes and page composition are all perfect with Soule's writing, especially when it gets to the action. Ever since Rogue One and the Rebels animated show, we've been getting amazing visual feats of what the truly powerful Vader can do. Some of his best feats are present in this comic, whether it's silent intimidation or his physical brutality, and, of course, the Force. Comixology has the entire Charles Soule's story, Star Wars, Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, on sale for over 60% off, and I absolutely would recommend it. On to the next recommendation is She-Hulk, which seems to be forgotten a lot when it comes to the best of lists. I definitely think it's up there as one of the best She-Hulk stories, and part of that is because Charles Soule himself knows a lot about the lore. I'm not sure if he's a lawyer or is he just learning about it, but either way, his knowledge is extensive, and it really helps add the immersion to the courtroom drama feeling that the comic book is going for here. There's great complexity and depth in these scenes that really helps it, as well, with the strongest part of it being, as I said, the courtroom drama, aside, of course, from She-Hulk's own muscles. It even features some of the great lesser-known characters that I think really adds to the charm and appeal of the story, like Titania and Doctor Doom's son. It also features very popular characters like Daredevil and one of the best courtroom scenes in all of comics, and Deadpool. One thing, however, that I think may serve as a barrier to new or casual readers is the art style. Javier Pulido falls in that category because I feel like his art reminds me a little bit of Mike Allred's pop art, with its very stylized figures and bright, vibrant colors. I like it, however, as I feel it flows so well between panels, and the use of space also serves as a great storyteller to narrow the focus on characters. Comixology has collected the entire series, all 12 issues of it, as well as a few extra side stories, for 60% off. It's a great deal, and since it is only 12 issues, you know it'll be a quick and easy read from beginning to end. Now, the next comic, Daredevil, is one that I feel combines what I like about both Darth Vader and She-Hulk. With Darth Vader, it's about the presence and characterization of the character. And with She-Hulk, it's the courtroom drama and the real intimate character moments for her. Charles Soule's Daredevil, Back in Black, is both of these things. Following Mark Waid and Chris Samnee's renowned run was never going to be easy, but Charles Soule brought him back to the basics and really showcased the darker side to him again, focusing on the character's trials and tribulations as a struggling lawyer and his efforts to reclaim his superhero mantle. He's even joined by an Asian sidekick, Blind Spot, who I really appreciate. Their dynamic is interesting, and it really puts Daredevil in a rarely seen light, which is as a mentor. It's not easy or smooth sailing for either of them. After all, pushing Daredevil's resolve early on and showing just how resilient the character is the villain known as 10 Fingers or 10 Hands, as well as some members of the Hand. That's why I get mixed up. He's an interesting villain that helps push Daredevil into the next stages of his life. However, I really think the best parts are between Daredevil and his new protege. Joining him is Ron Garney, who also seems to understand what makes the character so interesting in his visual form, even when he's wearing the simple blacks, and it's that Daredevil really feels like he can spring off the page of the comic books. The way his body can bend and twist and the way he uses his acrobatics, it's all on great display here. I also really like the way that they use some of those dots and coloring, giving it a bit of a classic 60s and 70s feel, but also emulating the chiaroscuro from the old noir detective stories. And that's what I feel this story is like. It's a hardened, weathered battler who is fighting against forces greater than himself, but determined to keep fighting. And that, to me, is Matt Murdock in a nutshell. This is a much longer saga, however, and all of the comics are a great deal at almost 70% off. I'd recommend starting with Volume 1 to see if you like this version of the character and continuing from there, but I thoroughly enjoyed this from start to finish and would highly recommend it to Daredevil fans. So those are the 3 comics that I think Charles Soule has done the best at with Marvel: Darth Vader, She-Hulk, and Daredevil Back in Black. Thank you for watching. This has been a spotlight on Charles Soule's Marvel Comics with your mate Failbait. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, I would also like to hear what you think are Charles Soule's best comics, whether it's DC or Marvel. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, buy it while you can.